This is AV SuperFriends Perspectives, a collection of interviews, discussions, and presentations from conferences, trade shows, and events that just don't fit either of the other two shows. Some are long, some are short, but they'll all have valuable insights, useful information, or just good conversation with thought leaders and subject matter experts. And now, the AV SuperFriends.
So we're here with David Maxa, Q-SYS at InfoComm 2023. David, what is new and cool? What are you guys showing off? I see a lot of blue shirts here. If I'm in higher education, what are you guys focusing on that makes a difference to me? You're on the education team, so let's talk education stuff.
Sure, absolutely. So we're telling a little different story than what most people are telling, of course,
well,
right?
We're done then.
And
Perfect. We're done. Yeah, that's
We're
it.
done. No, we don't.
Keep going.
We're not here for stories.
No. Go for it.
so anyhow, as part of that is being OS based, and when we had COVID, the growth accelerated with our camera system and what we're doing within that ecosystem. So what we've added is a new endpoint, right? So originally we just had our NV32, and you go point to point with it. Well, now with our new encoder decoder with the 21, which is software definable, you can go in there and we're able to do on one USB-C cable. And I've seen this a lot where people say, how do I integrate my cameras and hubs and extenders? So on our NV21, what we've done is the ability on one USB-C cable to add video, bridging with a license, and then we can also power that exact same cable.
How much power on the cable?
So 60 watts.
60 watts, okay.
Yep. Just the caveat on that is to make sure is that you have to power that NV21 locally, okay?
Wait, it can't magically make more power?
I mean, I think we'll get there eventually, right?
I'm going to put on a regular PoE switch, but I somehow want 60 watts out the cable.
Yeah. So and why that's important in what we're doing within these, as we say, our platform, a solution, our ecosystem, is that we can add multiple cameras seamlessly, right? And it just depends on how you want to build out your room. So in theory, we can add over 200 cameras in a designer file, but it's nice. And then what we're also just announced, which is kind of a big deal, is we're in the opening stages of it, is the partnership with SeerVision, or the acquisition, I should say, of SeerVision. So that's very new. We don't have too much on it, but SeerVision is a camera tracking system based on AI. So, which will eventually is going to work natively with what we're doing in Q-SYS, and we have plugins already. So very big.
And it may be early days on that one, but right now I believe that one drives off like a PC-based processor and all that stuff. Is that something that conceivably could get integrated into specific cores to do that on the existing box, or do we not? Is it way too early yet?
Yeah, we're definitely in too early stages, but you are right, and it's kind of like a server-based solution. I mean, they've been around. We have a demo booth here with SeerVision already. So
okay, so you've got some of that working already then. Yeah.
SeerVision's a working company. Absolutely. We just set up the booth secretly, right? Because it was a brand new thing.
Well, that's cool.
So I've sent out emails encouraging people to go check it out. It's different. It's a different. It's a very exciting time as opposed to. Of course, we have plugins where we can work with as you go through our immersive space where microphones and when we move the cameras around that way, but this is different. This is what a lot of people have been asking for.
So that as that gets integrated into the larger Q-SYS platform, I assume we're going to look at probably like an entitlement license per camera to use that.
No, stop with the L word, Christopher.
All right, I'm just saying.
No, I mean
I'm going to need my own asset manager just for licenses.
Yeah. We'll see where that goes, and I doubt it. Well, I should never say anything. To be determined, but we're in the early stages of that. So, but yeah, a lot of exciting news. Additionally, we're showing here we added bridging capability on our 7 and 10-inch panel.
Yeah,
so
very cool.
That's where I know I was talking to Justin before on it about what software updates you have, and that's what's kind of unique. What we're doing is that instead of buying different products, you're buying, I know it's feature licenses as we call them, or in higher ed, it's a little different. Let's just call them entitlements, Entitlement sounds better, So, and we do call them entitlements when they unlock. But having entitlements and additionally on that touch panel, our 7 and 10-inch touch panel, you can do bridging through there. So we're giving a lot of flexibility, whether it's conference room spaces, classrooms, and how to distance learning.
And that's on the 7 and 10 inch ones. But,
7 and 10 inch only. Yeah, it's not on a 5 inch. And
All
keep
right.
in mind, our 5, our 7, and 10, you are not dedicated to having a table or a wall mount. You buy it's a wall mount version, and then you can
Yeah.
buy the table mount accessory.
The way God intended, correct.
Yes, absolutely.
Buy a mounting bracket.
So also talk to us about, I know you all offer services. And
Yes.
so how does that work with someone, let's say, in higher education that's doing their own knowledge labor,
Sure.
programming internally, and let's say maybe they've used a prior system before, they're jumping to Q-SYS, they know a little bit about programming. I know your services offer like turnkey programming, maybe for integration, integrators. What does that look like for the higher education technology manager?
Man, I like Justin's question way better than Chris's question right now because I like this one a little bit better.
Okay.
So we do have, in terms of services, we have what's called a professional services team. So from that side, and we continue to grow that team. So it still works through the integration company. But what happens, right, is as you go to do a standardization on your touch panels, right, and maybe you're switching because that's a big jump for some people who might not be used to it. We can work with you to create the UCI and the configuration, and that way you can hand it off to integrator A, B, or C, and then have that same standard that you're looking for. And especially maybe, and it's also depending on how you want it to build it out, right? Because our platform, our designer, is one designer file. So we can do our plugins are just drag and drop, and it's the hooks are already tied in.
Right.
And then we have, as we call it, low code / block controller, and then we can do scripting. So depending on how you want to build out your room, but we can give it to you, work with you on that side, and then you can easily adjust it afterwards. So it's a back and forth process where we can help out.
So let's unpack that real quick.
Sure.
Walk me through the actual process. So what you said was we have to work through an integrator. So let's say that shows up on a line item through a quote through somebody like Diversified or another integrator. Would you be willing to work directly with a higher ed end user or a technology manager versus working, because we're the ones doing the programming? So do you have to communicate through the integrator, or is that just a line item purchase that's done, and then your relationships with us?
Yeah, so higher ed, that is a lot of people, it's tough. We tiptoe here.
Right.
Of course, I've worked with different manufacturers. I always have to tiptoe that line, right? I want to respect what the integrators are doing.
Sure.
But as you're mentioning, when you're doing a lot of stuff in-house and a lot of those times, you can't buy direct, right? But you want that integration side. So what we do is we do have a sheet that we have you fill out.
Yep.
Right? The scope of work,
Okay.
expectations.
That's where that's captured.
Yep, and that's captured there, and then we'll go and design the quote within professional with our team, and then what they'll do is that's given to your integrator of choice that you may work with in your
So
area.
basically,
And
I
they'll
would
quote you out.
be creating the scope of work for you all to quote, and you would give us a line item for programming services based upon the scope.
Right.
And possibly we can work direct with your team on making that happen.
Yeah, we can work on it. All the pricing is still set through the integration.
Right, exactly.
firm. Yeah,
Got
and
it.
then we do have, if you're a partner with us in our honor roll system, there is some fixed dedicated pricing within the honor roll system as you go through there. So yeah, I mean we're not obviously, of course, right? Integrators are a very important part.
Sure.
And we're not cutting them out, so we have that fixed.
You have to buy
pricing
it
that they have.
through,
Yeah.
but then get direct support from you.
Yeah,
and
we'll
even
take
have
care of everything on that side. And you have the option, depending on what you're doing, you can do remote or you can do on-site.
Got it. Okay.
But yeah, it's not. I mean, we don't. Most in higher ed, like yourself and Chris, right? You guys do a lot of your own work. But sometimes, I have had a university. I just had a conversation with, they have a massive project. And they're like, I want to centralize it, right?
Right.
Use our ecosystem in a different way, and seen some of what they can do, and they're like, I don't feel 100% comfortable. I don't maybe have an integration firm that they feel that maybe at that level to do that project, and we'll still pass it through them, right? They
it's
get
a pass-through entity almost.
Absolutely,
Yeah, that makes
nothing's.
sense.
I want to make sure, nothing's direct, right? We're
Right.
still involved, and they have to be
It's
part
sort
of the
of
process.
direct to us because we're the ones doing the work, but it's passing through the integrator.
Absolutely.
Got it. Okay, that makes sense.
Yep.
Any other questions, Chris? You got anything?
Yeah, so if they're is there any other one thing we have to see while we're here, or did we pretty much cover all the high points for 2023?
Sure. So yeah, I mean, I would definitely set up time to see our Steer Vision demo room. Right, it was kind of built last second because we had that just talked about the acquisition on, I think it was Tuesday morning I found out myself. So yeah, it was at the last hour. But as you guys already went through, right, our immersive experience, which shows
The haunted house, yeah.
Yeah, it's not haunted. Stop it. We kept the lights on for you, especially in the hotel room.
That was the scariest room.
But we're showing
Some
all
weird
different
stains on
ways
that
to
bed.
use it. Stop it. You better edit that out, Chris.
No editing.
There were no stains.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
just small.
Yeah.
Well, you
So-
had the weird black light mode, and it was just saying it got strange, got weird in
mean,
there.
The ball came down from
You've
the
had those.
ceiling.
You've had those guys in there for like 3 days, and they haven't come out.
Hey,
so.
you know what? Everyone does their own thing in their hotel rooms, right?
Right.
If we're in Vegas, we'd say what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. But yeah,
in
yeah.
Orlando, it goes out on a podcast.
No. But yeah, so I always encourage people, if they didn't already, we do have walk-ups for going through the immersive space because it is showing you different, right? From a conference room to, I know we're not, in the last room that we're joking about, the hotel room, we're using VCore in that space to control things. So we're touching on everything. Even though it's a hotel room, it's hospitality, it's still giving you a taste of what we're doing with VCore control.
Cool. All right. Well, appreciate the time, David. We'll see what else you got cruising around here. There's a lot going on at this booth, so, and we'll catch up soon.
All right, thank you. I appreciate your time, both of you.
Well, that wraps up another episode of AV Super Friends Perspectives. If you have a perspective to share, you can contact us with questions, topic ideas, or general complaints at mailbag@avsuperfriends.com.
Nice work, everyone. Sharp broadcast. Really good. Everyone on the floor as well. Really a lot of hustle. I liked it.
The opinions expressed by the AV Super Friends are solely those of the individuals and do not represent their respective institutions, organizations, companies, or clients.